Hi, I'm Wayne and this is Bassador Woodworking. Have a little bit different kind of video for you today, no project. Instead, we're going to be talking about bad advice that's given to beginner woodworkers on YouTube. This is a topic that's been kind of gnawing at the back of my brain since even before I began this woodworking channel a couple of years ago. And it's that video that every woodworking YouTuber has of the top 5, 7, 10 tools that a beginner woodworker needs to get started in the hobby. You know the video. Everyone's basically the same. They'll have the drill and driver combo kit on whatever battery platform with a charger. They'll have a circular saw, even though more recently they've thrown in a jigsaw in place of the circular saw so that their list is different than the list that came before them. A lot of times they will have some kind of router kit with a plunge and a fixed base. That one's become more popular recently. Always a random orbit sander is in there. Some combination of clamps. Sometimes they'll throw in measuring tools like a good tape measure or like a combination square or something like that. And then sometimes they'll even throw in jigs like a pocket hole jig or something like that. I don't fault any YouTube channel for making that video. I get it. It's a pretty easy video to make. It can get you some good engagement on your affiliate links, which then will boost the visibility of your channel. I completely get it from a business perspective that, yes, that's obviously a video you should make. I even had to go back and look through my back catalog of videos, which is up over 100 now, and make sure I had not made that video, and I haven't, so I can continue on with this without sounding like a complete hypocrite. But the thing that I don't like about those videos is that it leaves out the single best resource for any new woodworker to acquire tools in an affordable way, and that is the used market. If you are a brand new woodworker, do not buy new tools, at least not right away. The used market is a much better place to get started. I can already see some of the dissenters in the comments saying things like you should never trust a used tool, especially if you're an inexperienced woodworker. Like a used tool decides to actively try to kill inexperienced woodworkers. Now there are legitimate safety concerns regarding used tools, and we'll touch more on those further in the video. But here are a few quick things you can do to gauge whether a used tool is worth picking up. Now, there are only really two things you need to keep in mind when you are looking at a used tool, either through Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, OfferUp. I don't know all the apps that you can now buy things on. The one I primarily check daily is Facebook Marketplace. It seems to be the most active in my area. Your area is out of my purview. But the first thing you need to look at is cosmetic condition. You know the old saying of don't judge a book by its cover? That's out the window when it comes to used tools. Absolutely judge the book by its cover. You can tell a lot about a craftsman based on how they keep their tools. If the tool is clean, well-maintained, and looks nice, you know that that tool is well cared for. And more likely than not, it will operate perfectly fine. So you can pretty much assume a tool that's well-maintained, looks nice, and comes from somebody who knows how to use it, that it's going to be worth the investment. Number 2, does the tool turn on? Don't ever buy a secondhand tool without turning it on first. If the person who is selling it to you is unable to demonstrate the functionality of the machine, it's not worth paying money for. And I don't mean demonstrate the functionality and show you how to use it. Just being able to turn it on, like let's say it's a table saw, have them turn it on and let it run for 30 to 60 seconds. If everything sounds good, it's likely fine. Play with all the knobs, make sure everything moves, lock and unlock the fence, do all the things that you would need to do when using that tool to make sure that the tool is functional. As you become more comfortable with tools and you gain more of an understanding of how they work, you can be more lenient on those two rules. For example, here's a list of tools I got completely for free by keeping my eye on Facebook Marketplace and taking free tools as they came up. This 15.5-inch floor standing drill press. This 6-inch jointer. This air compressor. This 9-inch radial arm saw. And this scroll saw. And a table saw. Not this table saw my father gave me, but I had another Craftsman 113 flex drive that I actually gave away in a previous video. I got that one for free as well. and a Shopsmith Mark V. Now, full disclosure, it's not like I came across all of these tools quickly, and I don't expect my experience to be typical of the experience that you will have. But I'm constantly seeing tool listings for table saws, miter saws, radial arm saws especially, and any kind of handheld power tool for anywhere between $10 and $50. The only tool that seems to always be kind of expensive are floor standing drill presses. It's wild. They're always over $100, but that's still a fraction of the cost of a drill press new. There are gems out there, and my drill press is proof of that. I did an entire restoration of this thing. It was not functioning when I got it. It was covered in rust. Everything was seized up on it. It took some time. It took some patience, but it wasn't difficult to do. It just took time and it took patience. And if you don't have patience, then woodworking probably isn't the hobby for you, because any woodworker will tell you the longest part of a project is the sanding and the finishing, and a lot of that time is waiting. Okay, now I'm going to do the woodworking YouTuber thing where you sit at a table saw like it's a desk to segue into the safety portion of the video. For the safety portion of the video, I'm going to focus primarily on the table saw, because a lot of the discussion I see online focuses primarily on the used table saw market. And yes, it's true that a brand new table saw will come with all the latest and greatest safety features based on whatever price bracket of the tool you buy. And that's not to say that a used table saw will not come with any safety features. I regularly see table saws for sale on Facebook Marketplace, for example, that come with a blade guard, come with a riving knife, sometimes even come with feather boards and push sticks and things like that. And even the ones that don't come with the riving knife or the blade guard, those can usually be picked up on the third-party market through Amazon or through, like if it's a Craftsman saw, Sears Parts Direct or whatever, and you'd still come out ahead on the price of that saw. So say you pay $50 for the table saw and it's another $70 for the whole blade guard assembly for the saw, you'd still end up spending less than you would to go out and buy a DeWalt contractor saw. Budget is very real for a lot of people. I would not be able to have the shop I have now with the capacity that I have now, and by capacity I mean the ability to do different kinds of projects. I would not be able to do that if I bought every one of these tools new. Another word on safety that doesn't get brought up a lot is that even the greatest and latest safety feature will not protect against bad practice. If you are not secure in the fundamentals of using the tool, you can still really badly injure yourself with any tool, no matter what safety feature it has in place. A saw stop will still send kickback into your gut, your neck, your face. The only thing the saw stop will protect you against is like amputation with the blade, which is a small percentage of table saw injuries. As you can see, we have swapped over to casual sideways lean now. The woodworking YouTube community will also say things like you don't even need a table saw to start out. You can just get a track saw or a circular saw with a Craig jig, something like that. And they're right. I mean, that topic has become its own entire woodworking YouTube subgenre. And track saw versus circular saw versus table saw, which one do you really need? I would say you don't need any of them. I don't think those videos are asking the right questions. And I don't think it's right to put them all in the same category. I know that they both make rip cuts and they both make cross cuts, but that's not the purpose of each tool. That's not the need it fulfills. A circular saw can break down large stock. And with proper setup and proper practices, you can get excellent results. A track saw can do the same thing, but it adds an ease of setup to the whole process, and it increases the repeatability of that process. By having less variables in the entire thing, it makes it so that it's easier to set up a track saw 10 times than to set up a circular saw 10 times. The table saw is the definitive tool for repeatability. That's what you get with a table saw, repeatability. You can make the same cut as many times as you want, and they will be exactly the same. So the question that should be dictating these circular saw, track saw, table saw discussions should be, how important is repeatability? And if I were to recommend a system to a beginner, then I would pick the system that makes repeatability the easiest. And that would be, without a doubt, the table saw. Now, if you go into considerations like amount of space available, price, or etc., then that answer can change. But when you're weighing repeatability against different factors, you need to make concessions at different points. And price is a huge concession. Especially if you're just getting started, you don't want to dump a whole bunch of money into an expensive like track saw system, which upon last checking, the cheapest system that had any kind of positive buzz around it is the Wen system, and that's about $100 on Amazon right now. Now, if you compare that against a circular saw with like the Craig AccuCut guide, if you picked up the cheapest circular saw at Harbor Freight, for example, at $40, and you weigh that against the $90 Craig AccuCut system, then you're at $130, so you're already over the price of the track saw. But now if you take in, okay, let's open up the used market. You can now get a circular saw any day on Facebook Marketplace for 10 bucks. And so that brings it back down to being comparable to the price of the Wen track saw. But now if we open up that further and say, okay, well, what's the pricing and stuff of table saws on Facebook Marketplace? And when I checked this morning before making this video, there were 5 table saws in my immediate area that were on sale on Facebook Marketplace, the most expensive being $75. And I get it, this might seem like a really nitpicky thing to get all worked up over and to create an entire video about, but I love woodworking and I love having my friends in my shop. I love teaching them how to use my machines and teaching them how to create the things they want to create and build the things they want to build. And I feel like these types of videos create this artificial barrier to entry into this hobby, and they perpetuate this myth that you need these expensive tools to turn out quality projects, and it's simply not true. They make it sound like if you don't buy a saw stop, you're gonna cut your fingers off. Or if you don't buy an expensive dust extractor, you're going to ruin your lungs and you're gonna die a slow, agonizing death. And it's all too much. And anyone can do this hobby, and anyone can learn to do it safely without spending thousands of dollars. I guess this entire video is a long, ranty way for me to say, as a beginner, you should be watching the used market through whatever app is your preference. I've found in my area, which is the northeast of the United States, Facebook Marketplace is very good for this kind of thing. But you should be watching those deals. You should be grabbing them when they become available. You can get an excellent tool that will last you a lifetime for a fraction of the cost of a brand new tool that will not even last a fraction of how long these things are built to last. If you liked this video and you like this style of video, give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments. If you don't like this video and you want me to shut up and just continue building projects, let me know in the comments too. Any engagement is good, apparently, according to the algorithm. But thank you for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to keep up to date with new projects as they are released. And until next time, thank you.